Hello friends, I am Sunil Kumar, Associate Professor of GVM's Dr. Dada Vaidya College of Education. I deal two subjects, Educational Psychology and Geography Method. Friends, I am here just to share a few things, some of the views actually related to both the subjects. Let me start with Educational Psychology. What is Educational Psychology and how this subject is very relevant and important for all the teachers. Why actually a teacher should have very sound knowledge of psychology, we will actually see. And let us see first concept, what is Educational Psychology. Educational Psychology is one of the applied psychology or one of the branches of psychology which can be used by an individual or a teacher in his day-to-day teaching to know about his own teaching personality, to know about his students, and to accordingly actually he can take decision to change his teaching style and students can get maximum benefit from him. Let us see first what is educational psychology. As we all know friends that educational psychology is one of the branches of psychology, and psychology deals about that behavior of to study about that behavior of an individual, right? But educational psychology, as I said you, one of the branches of psychology which deals about that behavior of students in teaching and learning situation, right? And it is an attempt to apply knowledge of psychology in the field of education. Basically a teacher, whatever knowledge he has, psychology knowledge whatever he has, he is using it in the field of education accordingly, and it helps him to modify his teaching and change his teaching style, update his teaching style. It is defined as that branch of psychology which studies the behavior of the learner. As I told you, it is one of the branches of psychology which studies that behavior of the learner in relation to his educational or her educational needs and his environment or her environment. Basically, here a teacher actually he knows about that needs and requirement of his students, and students they know about their need according to the situation, according to the demand of environment. I will tell actually two of the great definitions given by Professor Skinner in 1958. He has said that it is branch of psychology which deals with teaching and learning. Very simple one, teaching and learning. Educational psychology is basically related to teaching and learning. And Crow in 1973, what they had said, it describes and explains the learning experiences of an individual from birth to the old age. Because that span of life, it is divided into different stages like childhood, infancy stage, childhood stage, adolescent stage, and adulthood stage, right? In all the stages, the different peculiar characteristics we could see of an individual, and we are studying all these peculiar characteristics of people in different stages. So Crow basically they have identified different different lifespan which is divided into different stages, childhood stage and adolescent stage and adulthood stage, where a lot of learning experiences are felt by the teachers and individuals. Actually they are having a lot of other different learning experiences, right? In childhood stage they have different learning experiences. In adolescent stage, which is a peculiar stage of strife, strain, storm and stress, they have peculiar learning experiences. But in adulthood stage they have peculiar learning experiences. So Crow basically they have emphasize on different stages of human life which change accordingly. Now on the basis of all these definitions, we could say that educational psychology is the scientific study of human behavior, right? We are studying human behavior, means students behavior, but in a very scientific way, by using all the scientific tools and techniques by which it can be understood, predicted and directed by education to achieve goals of life. So different goals which have been set right in the beginning by the teachers, by the students, and educational psychology helps a teacher actually to achieve their targets, to achieve their goals, whatever they have set before actually doing their teaching activities, and students accordingly get benefit and they are achieving and accomplishing their goals and targets in their life. So here a lot of different points are there related to relevance of educational psychology for a teacher. Why a teacher should have some knowledge of educational psychology, right? Until unless you have good knowledge of educational psychology, you cannot deal your students effectively, you cannot manage your class effectively, because it makes you a good manager. Teacher is a good manager where a lot of managerial skills are seen. You can manage your time, you can manage your energy, you can manage your resources in a better way and in a perfect way if you have sound knowledge of educational psychology. Let us see one by one what are the different points related to relevance of educational psychology. The first one is understanding oneself. A teacher is not going to just know about his students with the help of knowledge of educational psychology, but it helps you also to understand about your limitations, your strength, and accordingly you can change your activities in the class. You can change your strategies to handle your students in the class. So it is helping you to understand yourself, and you can introspect yourself, you can change your strategies, you can adopt different methods of teaching, and it can make you a very effective teacher in your class. Understanding the child. As I told you that to know about your students, it is very important to use techniques of educational psychology, right? Because here children, they are coming from different backgrounds. Some students, they are coming from very rich background. Some students, they are having poor background, SES background, socio-economic status, they have poor. Some students, they are intelligent, most students, they are average, some students, they are below average. So to understand that need and requirement of each and every child, it is very important to use the technique of educational psychology, which will help you to deal students very effectively. The next point is for selection of proper teaching methods. In a teaching, actually teaching any topic related to your subject, it is very important to select the best method of teaching. There are varieties of methods of teaching, but as a teacher, it's very important to select the best method, select the best strategies, and educational psychology helps you in selection of proper teaching method, proper teaching strategies. The next point is to understand individual differences. Even twins are not alike in this world. Everyone is different, everyone is distinct in their own nature. Right now, some students are very good in cognitive, some students are very good in curricular activities, some students are very good in co-curricular and extracurricular activities. So individual differences are there. So how, as a teacher, how are you going to deal them? In a class, actually on the basis of IQ, gifted students are there who are having more than 130 IQ, right? Average students who are having IQ between 90 to 130, and students, some students who are below average, whose IQ is below 90. So what are the different methods and strategies you are going to use actually to deal all the students, so that students are not any student coming from different groups actually not going to get affected, and all students are getting benefit from your teaching, the best way of handling in the class without making them realize about their problems right now. So it is very important to understand individual differences, and accordingly you can adopt some of the strategies to handle them equally in the class. The next one is for evaluation and testing. Evaluation is a very comprehensive activity. Right now, it is a wholesome activity to know the holistic development of an individual. How are you going to evaluate your students? Today, actually, we as a teacher, we are dealing students scholastic achievement as well as co-scholastic achievement. Until unless you know that different tools of evaluation, until unless you know the techniques of evaluation, it is very important to use that psychological techniques for the best way of evaluating and testing your students. For framing curriculum, today we are talking a lot about NEP 2020, but how to design a best curriculum, it is very important to take help of educational psychology, keeping in mind about that need and requirement of psychology, students psychology, make a very entertaining and wonderful curriculum which can suit to all the students. Then to understand human relation, interpersonal relation. How can you make sure that students are maintaining good relation among each other? How can you ensure that you are maintaining good relation with your students are maintaining good relation with you? So basically, psychology deals about that relation, human's behavior, and relation is one of the components of behavior. So to understand human relations, it is very important to have good knowledge of educational psychology. And adjustment and discipline. Students actually, they are having a lot of problems today. So how to adjust well in any kind of situation, educational psychology helps you to know, because India is a diverse country right now, we have differences actually in relation to language, we have differences according to geography, right? But students, they should adjust well in any kind of situation. They can be well adjusted in any kind of situation, and you can handle them according to the angle of psychology, which can make them emotionally balanced and mentally strong, so that in any situation they can adjust well and they can be well disciplined in their life. Experimentation. In psychology, we are having a lot of scope to do experimentation, right? So experimentation helps you to know about your students well, and accordingly actually you are making your target. Diagnosis and elimination of problems in the classroom. There are different types of strategies which we use, and one of the strategies is diagnostic teaching and remedial teaching, and accordingly we are diagnosing students problems, and accordingly we are providing them remedies which helps us actually to eliminate all kinds of problems whatever they have in the classroom. For maintaining healthy atmosphere in the classroom, it is very important. All right, unless you are creating a very conducive atmosphere in the classroom, students may not maintain a very healthy atmosphere in the classroom. So to maintain healthy atmosphere in the classroom, knowledge of psychology helps a teacher. For arranging proper learning situation, a lot of learning situation, first hand learning experience, but how can you make sure that students are having first hand learning experience, right? So that situation has to be created. You can make sure that students are getting the best learning experience, and educational psychology helps you, like conducting excursion, right? Contrived experience of learning, providing them contrived or vicarious learning experience. So in the class also you are doing a lot of activities which will be liked by all the students, and they will be learning the best, right? And finally, for dealing skillfully with the problem created by the students, right? Many students, they are coming from different backgrounds, they have a lot of problems, and when they are having problems, sometimes they are not coping up with those problems, they are not adjusting with all those problems, and finally their behaviors are seen in the classroom, they are creating problems for others also. So how to deal very skillfully all these problems of their students, educational psychology helps you. A lot of techniques are there right now, like projective techniques are there, which will help you to know about your students and to guide them accordingly. To use instruments for appraisal of the child's progress. We have a lot of psychological tools, we have a lot of psychological instruments which can be used time to time to acknowledge students' effort, to acknowledge your own effort, which will be helping students' progress as well as your own progress, right? And finally, motivational techniques. We are having a lot of motivational techniques right now, extrinsic motivational technique, intrinsic motivational techniques, and according to the situation we can use all these techniques in our life, which will help you actually to deal your students in the best way. And finally, educational psychology not only helping you to know about yourself, to know about your students, but finally it makes you a perfect teachers, right? So thank you very much actually for listening with patience actually about that, the concept of psychology and relevance of psychology for a teacher. Thank you very much.